So that's a nice travel hack already. So what I want y'all to do is let me know your favorite travel hack in the comment section below, right?
What's up, beautiful people, and welcome to another episode of Don't Keep Up With the Joneses. 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 Don't keep up with the Joneses.
What's up, beautiful people? In this video, we'll be doing a reaction to some travel tips that I believe that people should know. I came across this video and I was like, this would be a cool video to do a reaction to. So I'm gonna go ahead and you know what I'm gonna do, switch the shades or into the shades, and we're gonna get into this potty the right way, y'all. Let's get to it.
Okay, now one thing I have learned after taking 657 flights. All right, y'all, so maybe I'm exaggerating that number a bit, but the point is I have taken a lot of flights. After tons of travel, I have learned quite a bit. So what I want to do is relay all of those things, or all the things that I can remember and fit in this video, to you to help you prepare for your next trip. And I'm going to do this by breaking it up into like a few categories. Things to do before you fly, things to do in flight, how to sanitize your flight, if you know, you know, how to capture content, tips and tricks, and things you're going to want to consider when it comes to your luggage.
Oh, this is good. I've never watched a video on how to trip, travel, or plan and travel. So this is gonna be very good. I'm gonna be taking notes as I'm watching. I hope y'all do too. Let's go.
So as you can see, we're gonna be in quite a few places, but let's get right to it. The very first thing that you're definitely going to want to make sure that you do is download your music and your movies ahead of time.
So
Once
true.
you're in flight, unless you are willing to pay for Wi-Fi in flight, which mind you is typically slow, overpriced, and is a dice roll if it's available. So instead of chancing all those different things, just download your music and your movies ahead of time.
Facts.
A lot of apps offer you the option to download your content. Like I know Netflix does, Disney Plus, Hulu, and your music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music, they also offer the option. But either way, before you get on that flight, make sure you have what you want downloaded. Another thing you're going to want to make sure that you download is the airline app. So whoever you're flying with, they have an application for their airline. So basically, you know, sometimes on a flight, they have the TVs on the back of the seats. Whatever is offered up there is oftentimes also offered within the app in their entertainment section. So
nice.
if you don't want to look at the back of the headrest and you want the option to look at it instead from your phone, you can do that. It's also good to get information in flight if needed. And some airlines will even notify you when your boarding group is boarding. And most of them will honestly even give you the airport map so you can better navigate where you are. See?
So that's a nice travel hack already. So what I want y'all to do is let me know your favorite travel hack in the comment section below. Right now, well, this is the first one? I don't even know. This one's amazing. I love the app joint.
Or you might be from your next
Or
gate.
app.
So things like that. There's lots of little hidden gems, and each airline is different, but definitely make sure you download it. Now, another app that's worth getting is called TripIt. This one right here, y'all, it lets you basically create your itinerary in the app. But it's the way that it looks that is what sold it for me. And the fact that it is free. Like, I'm not paying for anything right now, and I have everything in which I need. So you can come in here, you know, for your girls' trip or your boys' trip. You can come in here and create your group with your friends or your family and title it whatever, put the description, and then put what you plan to do. And it's nice, especially if you're still trying to brainstorm things. I just love the fact you can see here, like at 12, we're going, you know, to the museum. But yeah, in essence, that's TripIt. I know there's more that it does, but like that's one of the big things that I personally.
No, I love that. I love that. And I wonder if you can even do this on cruises, because my family and I are about to go on a cruise, and I wonder, like, because, you know, cruises, you get on that boat and you don't know what people are doing, where people are, unless you go knock on their door or call them on their phone before they leave their room. But I wonder if this will be a solution. So she's good.
And then the final two apps that I'm gonna say make sure that you download will be the MyTSA app and the FlightAware app. The MyTSA app is gonna give you information on the wait times at the airport for TSA. And the FlightAware app is basically gonna let you know exactly that. Where is your aircraft that you're flying on? Where is it located at in transit to you? And some other cool stuff. Something else you can do before you fly is set alarms. I know. This has definitely helped me a ton. So you can set alarms for the time that you have to be up. I'm gonna show you mine. So the way I set mine up is I have alarms for like when I need to order my Uber, when I need to go to bed. I also have one for when I'm supposed to board the plane, because I find that no matter how many times I look in the app, I still question what time I board. I even have it as a silent alarm so that basically my phone doesn't make a sound, but it does vibrate. And to get it silent, all you gotta do is tap on the alarm. Then you're gonna go here and tap sound and just put it on none, which is at the bottom. Also an alarm for when I need to wake up for my flight versus just waking up in general. So lots of little ways that you could go about setting yours up. Now, something that I slept on that I highly advise that you don't is signing up for a membership program with an airline. It's free and it works in your favor because just simply from flying, you basically will move up their tier in terms of different status levels to receive different perks. Each airline is different, but I would recommend, if you can, to fly predominantly with 2 airlines. Choose one as your main one and the second one as your second choice. That way you can build up loyalty with that airline and accumulate points faster.
That's very good. That's very good, especially for those that may be watching that maybe going to Johannesburg like myself, or those that are just watching going to some other place. I believe that is great. Even if you don't get a credit card with a particular airline, you can get a membership with them and log those points, log those miles as well, and it can add up to some beneficial perks. So what she's saying is good, and let me just make sure you know, you don't have to have the credit card to be a member of that particular airline.
TSA PreCheck and Clear. I highly recommend those. I traveled a while before I signed up for TSA PreCheck, and I wish I had signed up for it sooner. I think it's like $85 for 5 years, but it is so worth it.
So worth it.
Most of the time are shorter. I love the fact that I don't have to take all my tech stuff out, like my computer, my iPad, and my camera and stuff like that. And you can keep your shoes.
Yes.
Happy camp.
That is the reason why I have TSA PreCheck. I hate taking my shoes off at the airport, just mixing my feet with previous feet, and just, you know, it's just, I hate that. I really do hate that. I equate that to just trying on people's shoes. Like whoever's been at the airport for that day, it's equivalent to me to trying on all of their shoes. And some people know they don't wear socks. They don't. They wear flip-flops with no socks, and I hate it. So TSA PreCheck was my way to get around that, and it's been luxurious since. Like, and it's very inexpensive for that particular, like, for people like me, the germaphobes, it's worth it. Do it.
Now, TSA PreCheck will get you through fast, but Clear will get you through faster. Like, you even bypass the TSA PreCheck line with Clear. And the other thing is Clear does cost more, so there's a price difference. But either one definitely has its advantages, and you can choose which is best for you. Now that you are equipped before the flight, let's talk about what you're going to do when you're in flight. One thing I like is to get as comfortable as possible and have what I need at, you know, a finger's reach. And I found that using something like this, which is basically like a cosmetic bag. I use this to put a few of my tech essentials, which I actually hang from the back of the seat in front of me. I know this isn't the most aesthetically pleasing setup, but I do plan to make it look better in time. I was in a pinch and it got the job done. But you hook this on the back of the chair, and that way your items that you need the most are in here. So you don't always have to reach down into your bag.
Oh, that's dope.
Purse. You don't always have to bring it up. This is always within reach. Now, you don't have to get this particular size, but I will say this one holds quite a bit. But one thing in here that I would definitely say that you're gonna need, not just for your flight, but anytime you're traveling, is a portable charger. Like, this is a really old one I got, if you can't tell. This one here is just like, I think 5,000 milliamps, but they have different sizes. If you want something that's gonna allow you to charge a bit more, I recommend 10,000 milliamps. That one, generally, depending on your phone, will let you get a good 2 to 3 charges. But the ones that I typically bring would be a small one like this. I like something thin and compact. And then for certain trips, I'll take a really large one, like a 20,000 milliamp one. I take that one more so in scenarios where I'm gonna be out for longer periods of time. Like if I'm going to an event, then I'm probably gonna take a 20,000 milliamp sometimes. Now, this is like your quick grabs of things that you...
I love everything that she's saying about that, because I've been in situations where I've been forced to use like the back little pull-out situation where you can stuff the back of the seats and things like that, and I don't like using that, obviously for my germaphobe reasons. But then there's even been cases where my headphones definitely are not going to go in there and it doesn't fit, and so I have to like keep it in the overhead until it's time, and then I'll have to get up and do all of that. However, having this toiletry bag solution, and I already have a toiletry bag that I can already think of in my mind that I will use for this situation, and it's gonna elevate the experience so much more. And then even too, one of the things that she was talking about was the battery pack. Now on international flights and even some domestic flights as well, they have areas where you can plug in and charge your phone while in flight. So, you know, you may or may not need that, but once you're off the flight, it will be essential that you have battery, especially if you're dependent upon it when you're Ubering or doing other things before you're actually able to get to your hotel, your Airbnb, or whatever it is that you're staying. So I love the battery pack idea. Clutch.
It doesn't have to be tech and things like that. It can be a mixture of other items in here that you might want. Sanitizer, makeup, lotion, whatever. But I do feel that it's really advantageous to have a separate container, so to speak, for your tech. So I have a couple of options that I use. This is the one that I use the most. I got this off Amazon. It didn't cost too much, but it lets me put everything in here that I need. I liked the layout. So I have my wall charger here, which is another little, I guess, gem. This one lets you charge multiple things at once. So if you don't have something like this, I highly advise you look into it. Then the other thing I have in here are cables. So I bring different ones because I have different devices. But this one was just large enough and small enough for me, you know, because I do have another one that I used to carry more than this one in the past, but this one's kind of taking its place. And that is this one here by Side by Side. I think it's the brand that made this one. It was the length for me. You know, I found that they weren't too much difference in thickness, but I definitely wanted to shave off some of the length that this one was giving. Inside here, you got better organization, I would say. And then in here is where you can drop something else, like maybe an external hard drive.
I dig that. I dig that.
And you actually got one more section. Hold up, let me get it together. That's fairly organized as well that you could utilize. But you have your options, but those are two that I use and recommend. So something else to make you a little bit more comfortable is to use some headphones.
Yes.
And noise cancellation headphones in particular. That will basically block out as much of your environment as it possibly can. And they offer it in a bunch of different ways. Like I have some in-ear buds. These are by Sony. These are the ones that I mainly honestly use when I'm walking throughout the airport because this lets sound in. But the ones that I like to use would be from Bose. I use their in-ear QC2 headphones. I really like those. Like they actually perform better than my on-ear headphones. The fit was good, the sound was great, like it really silenced everything. If you want the best noise cancellation to me and you like in-ear headphones for extended periods of use, I highly recommend those.
I don't.
But if you're more of a on-ear person, Bose makes some really good ones there as well. Sony does too. But all in all, just make sure that it has noise cancellation. Look for those two words.
And that's so very true, especially with the noise cancellation. I have a Sony pair, and usually there are babies on flights. And then if it's in an international flight, which means 15 or so hours on a flight, a baby's gonna be a baby. A child's gonna be a child. They're gonna talk, they're gonna cry, they're gonna whine, and sometimes you just wanna go to sleep. And what you're able to do with the noise canceling headphones is that you can turn them on and it will totally block out everything going on. And so there's been times where I don't hear anything until I wake up and I take the headphones off. I'm like, whoa. Even being in the airplane has a sound. Like it's like whoosh, the whole time. Well, I guess it depends on where you are on the flight. I might be telling my location on the flight. But anyway, you can hear there's a sound. It's not silent while you're flying. I'm sure nowhere on the flight. However, with those noise, is that a word? That's a tongue twister for me. Noise canceling headphones, you will not be disturbed. However, most of them, they do have a wire that you're able to connect if you're using the screen on the back of the seat. And so you'll be able to connect from your headphones to the thing because it uses like the regular plug-in for headphones, and you'll be good to go from there. I do it, no problem. I wish it could be wireless, but I haven't come across that yet.
One is sanitization. Now this next section is one very dear to me, and if you know, you know. Fellow germaphobes, this is a safe space. We're gonna talk about how to sanitize your flight. Some things that you're gonna wanna take with you, or could take with you, are hand wipes. So I have these actually on a monthly subscription. When it went out of stock, man, it was tragic. But Purell wipes, and then something else that I carry. Don't mind the little baggie here, but I think though these say you gotta use gloves with these. It might be more than you need. You can always get these in wipe form as
I
well,
have 'em.
and just use Purell wipes. But I do keep them in here just simply because it's easier to grab, and I found that it's easier when I need something specific to go to a certain bag that I know it's gonna be in versus a pocket. You can also bring Lysol, of course. I thought it was
True.
pretty cool that they actually offer these in like small, you know, spray cans.
Yeah.
And something else you can bring if you want, tall seat covers. So they sell these on Amazon. I found these fit the best. Yeah, you can always get these as well. Huh? Yeah, so it's not just me. So
I will say, even using the bathrooms on the airplanes is very small. For those that know, you know. However, I told Crystal, like, I feel bad for women for having to use the bathrooms on an airplane, because for guys, you know, we just stand, shoot, and call it a day. However, women have to do a lot. And so my hats are off to you all. Maybe this is a solution that you've been looking for, that you need. Get it, right? Maybe that's your tip for the day.
I feel judged. Usually I don't talk about my little things that I do. It's an unfamiliar space right now. I did put the disclaimer on the germaphobe. I just think as I define certain things, it shows the level of it. And depending on, you know, how you feel about certain things, I'll say for me, the other things that I bring or, you know, recommend would be shower shoes. I actually got like a 3-pack off of Amazon for like $12. You can also bring your own towel, and I have found, y'all, on Amazon, a portable towel. The nice thing about this is not just good for when you're traveling in flight, if you're camping, if you're going to the beach, carry a towel that's gonna dry you, but keep it, you get the picture. I didn't stuff it right, y'all, but anyway. I went for the lime green option, but it's pretty big. I think I got the extra large, whatever the largest size was.
That's impressive.
But this is the towel, and you know, if you need to hang it, you can hang it, but it dries really well. Quick drying, absorbing, what is it? Quick, what is the word? Quick absorbent towel? Yeah,
It's quick.
Oh, you do? You had this one? What do you say, Joe? Is it worth it? Mm-hmm. Quick drying towel. Absolutely recommend this one. And another thing, you know, that I bring is a pillowcase and washcloths. I bring my own washcloths, so yeah.
So that's why I like hotels. I think that's gonna help. Like,
All right, now let's talk about how are you going to commemorate this trip? How are you going to capture your content? You can reuse the little cosmetic bag we had at the beginning, especially when you're on the plane and you might want to keep your camera gear near you that you're going to be using to film. Hook it in the back, gear in here. Now, one thing I brought in the past is the GoPro Hero 11 here. It's an action camera, but I honestly use it mostly to vlog. I've also used the Insta360 X3. This is really, really good, especially when you want to capture everything around you. And another thing that I like is this phone mount right here. This one is a little bit different. So this one has a hot shoe mount at the top. That'll let you adapt something else onto it, like a light or a mic. The other thing that this has is I forgot what this is called, quarter thread. So you have that 1/4 thread down here so that you can actually twist this on to a tripod, which you don't have right now to demo. And the other nice thing is that if you turn this here in the back, you can rotate it so that you get landscape video or vertical video, because then your phone will go right here. And then when you want to switch it up, you can take your phone and rotate it like this, so that it's filming like that.
Nice.
And then another one that I bring is this little portable tripod. This is nice because it's so compact. It also has an area for the remote that you can use. So it has a Bluetooth remote that would be in here, which is designed so that you don't lose it, but somehow still manage to lose it. But you just pull this out like that. And I actually featured this recently. But the one thing I didn't show is that it rotates. Just like the little mount that I showed you, this one rotates as well. And then you got your feet down here. And then the last, little
I like that one.
Say to definitely bring is a suction mount. You'll be amazed at the places that you can use this. Like, I found that I ended up putting this not only on like the window on a plane, but like the window when I was like looking at different airplanes go by. If you're going by a store or you're in a restaurant or something like that, you can put this on the window in there. And what I have up here is an adapter for the GoPro so that I can mount the GoPro up here. But if I twist this over here, I then have a mount for the little phone mount that I showed you. Boom. Anyway, we're not going to twist it all the way on, but you get the picture. It honestly all surprisingly fit.
Now that's clutch, especially that suction cup situation. I've used that for some of my videos, and it's clutch. Like, you would be surprised the amount of videos that you can get by just sucking one to the window of a car and I was driving and just pointing outside. You get some great content. So I love that idea. But all the contraptions, that's clutch.
And I will have all this linked below. So if you want this exact setup, you can get it. All right, now tips and tricks. So you know how most of the time you're only limited to like 2 bags when you get on the plane.
True.
A way to kind of get around that is to get a bag while you're in the airport. Example, so if I have my, like for instance, my book bag and my carry-on suitcase. If I want to get one more bag, sometimes they will not even let you bring like a purse. That's counted as a 3rd bag. You have to consolidate. But something they don't really seem to be like as nitpicky about are like bags from within the airport, like Hudson News. That is a common convenience store in most airports,
True.
if not all. You can always get you a bag from there if you need a little bit more space to carry things. Passport holders, y'all. They look so good, right? They are great for keeping your passport protected, but they can also be annoying because just like a credit card, we'll have to take your passport out of here when it needs to be scanned. Like, I had more scenarios where I needed to take it out of the case than keep it in there.
Yep.
But I will say, at least in my case, even though it's like that, I still enjoy having like some protection on it in the meantime of it actually being used. Another trick, tip, whatever.
Oh, that's dope. So what I use for my passport is that I bought a wallet that's big enough to have my passport in, plenty of credit cards, and of course money as well. And I just love that because the less places I put things, the better. And even with that being a spot for my passport, I've as well just put it in my pocket because you're moving. You're going through the airport, you're going through planes, you're showing the security person, then you're going through security, and you're just putting stuff in places that you may not even remember. And so, I don't know. Maybe that's the solution. Probably not, because you say you have to take it out and you got to remember to put it back. But maybe figure something out for that.
Collapsible duffels, y'all. These right here, you go shopping and you're trying to figure out how to get everything back. Get you a collapsible duffel. That way it doesn't take up space, so if you don't need to take anything back, you're fine. But I have different sizes. The one that I have here is one by Air. I use this one a lot. I mean, you can practically roll this up like a t-shirt or something. It can even attach to your suitcase, so you know you can slide it on. This is super convenient, especially in scenarios too where you're traveling and you don't know if you might want a backpack. You can take this one. But if you want something
nice,
not like a backpack, but still just as collapsible, I would recommend this one here. So this one's more like a body sling. But yeah, ultimately this is something else that I like to take when I might want to take a bag with me when I'm out and about while I'm traveling.
Nice.
But if you think you might go shopping, you might want to look into this one here by Rains. It is their duffel. I really like the material here. It doesn't have any pockets on the inside, which is okay. It's super deep, like it holds quite a bit. And now I take that with me. Okay. You can always carry a duffel, but I am more of a suitcase person. I like to be able to wheel that thing behind me. Like, I don't want to carry it on my shoulder.
I hate carrying.
The only time I will really do a duffel is if maybe I'm staying somewhere for one night. For me, the main time I might carry a duffel is if I'm like driving somewhere and I'm staying overnight. But most of the time, I have a carry-on suitcase.
Definitely
but I'm curious, like, what are y'all, team duffel or team rolling suitcase?
Team rolling suitcase. Let me know.
Suitcase, make sure it has 360 wheels or spinning wheels, I think is what it's called. Basically the wheels that will rotate and not just go back and forth. They also have suitcases that have pockets for your electronics, because in those scenarios where you do have to show, you know, your laptop or other tech gadgets like that, it's annoying to have to dig through the suitcase to find it sometimes, or your backpack. So if you can just put it in this one little section and know it's all there, it definitely helps. Plus, to me, another advantage of rolling suitcases is that you can have accessories, you know? Like, you can get attachable cup holders. And I want to say you can even get like attachable food trays. But something that I put on mine is a custom like cushion for my handle. This makes it so much easier when I'm trying to identify it amongst a host of other suitcases. If you're going to do this approach, I highly recommend getting like a bright, kind of uncommon color, like a lime green, an orange, something like that. But before I was gonna be common. The little cushion thing, I did use, I don't even want to say, but I have used some special duct tape.
I mean, you know, we all learn and we grow, but I'm loving that tip. I do see people do it with like bandanas and things like that too. However, just thinking through the idea of nobody getting somebody else's luggage is also a part of why you want to differentiate yours from the next person.
on your bag and make it identifiable, basically, so that when it's coming through the luggage claim, it's easy for you to grab. Something else that I do is put an air tag inside of my luggage. I found that really handy, especially in scenarios where your luggage might get lost, or if you want to make sure your luggage is with you when you're on the airplane and things like that. It's just a nice way to monitor where your luggage is at all times and any time. Another tip I would say is to make sure that the luggage has a lock. You can either make sure that it's built into the suitcase, which is my preferred method. That's what I currently have on mine. Or if you want, you can always buy a separate lock and attach it. But I will say, if you're curious about some reputable brands or some brands that I recommend, I do suggest Away. I've used their luggage before and I liked it. And I recently have gotten into Monos. Now, the thing about Monos is that, and maybe I'm a one-off, but I had a terrible shipping experience with them. Like, basically, they took so long to ship it that I was no longer at the address in which it was supposed to ship to. I think they quoted like a week or two or something like that. I updated my shipping. They said it should be good and should be going to my new address, and it didn't. It went to the old address. I went there like maybe 3 or 4 days later and it was gone. So they thankfully did reship everything to my new address, but that took like, oh my God. I ordered around October. I got my luggage in like, it was, and then I had trips, y'all. I had trips that I wanted that luggage for, so I was a little tight. Now that I have it, I do like it. Even though I had the shipping experience, I still do recommend the luggage if you can get your hands on it. I haven't had any issues or anything like that, and they have.
Since we in the business of representing or recommending brands, our brand of choice is Kipling. We definitely love it. We love the soft Kipling as well because you're able to get so much in the Kipling luggage, as well as it's durable. Everything is going to be organized and things like that. However, I do have a question for the lock part. We do have locks even on our luggage. However, I've never used it because I don't know why, but I had a thought that they would pick it. I don't know. Has anybody had their locks picked on their luggage while traveling? Let me know down below, and that'll give me some insurance that I may need, or that just, it may not even be a thing, but just let a brother know.
Lots of different options. Something else that I recommend is a luggage rack. Like, this is really nice for me, I will say, when it comes to packing my suitcase or emptying out my suitcase, because instead of, having to put it on the floor or something and bend down and stuff like that, I can keep it elevated. It's easier to unpack and it keeps it off of the floor. And they have different variations of this. I'll link the 2 that I have down below. All right, y'all, but that's gonna do it for this one. I do hope you enjoyed it.
I definitely did enjoy it. Thank you, TechMeNots, for such a kind and in-depth video. Definitely give me some ideas of things to do. Let me know down below what's your favorite tip. I will say mine is definitely, it's a juggle between the apps that she suggested as well as the toiletry bag on the back of the seat. If I was to weigh the two, I'm gonna say the toiletry bag, largely because I want to just make sure everything is in one place and it's easy to be accessible. And so doing that way is gonna definitely be a leg up and a little hack that people probably around me are gonna be like, oh my gosh, what did he do? I like what he did and I'm gonna do it too. And so thank you, TechMeNots, for that. Let me know down below what's your takeaway, and if there's any other thing that you would have for me to do a reaction to, let me know in the comment section down below and I will definitely get to it. Until then, next time, great people, I love you all. I appreciate you all.